Hello everyone, how are we doing? How has your start of the week been? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is an authentic football fan channel made for you guys, and this is why we're here. It's Real Reds Talk, it's authentic, and we're going to talk about quite a few topics today. Actually, before I went live, there was a few bits that were ongoing. I mean, I'm still going to go live regardless anyway, because we always do. But there was a couple of little bits, and then recently in the past hour or so, there's been quite a few significant updates in regards to Matthijs de Ligt, in regards to the stadium and naming rights. There's been a few bits on Harry Amas and Toby Collyer in terms of what's in store for them this season. Are they going to go out on loan? Are they going to have, are they going to feature in the first team? And I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A towards the end as well. Any kind of topics you guys have that you want to get off your chest, or anything you've got in mind that you would like to discuss that I've missed, then obviously I'm always happy to do that. Now, for you guys who are on YouTube at the moment, are probably thinking this background bright as fuck. This is very, very early stages of what's going to be on this setup behind me. I can't actually change it on TikTok. If I could change it from the green screen, I should have just gone live on without the green screen. You can see it. But for the benefit for the people who are on YouTube, this is just the very, very early stage of what's going to be behind. The whole setup is going to completely change. It's going to be neon lights. It's going to be football shirts. There's going to be a whole kind of thing ongoing. So it's a work in progress. It's not done yet. The paints, the 3 coats have gone on. And yeah, it's we're working on it, but it'll probably by the end of this week, similar to the deal for Matthijs de Ligt, it shall be done. So nice to see so many is in the chat already, and welcome if you're joining on TikTok as well. If you do love football content and Manchester United and transfer stories and all this kind of stuff, make sure you check out Real Reds Talk on YouTube. We're live currently right now, and we have a lovely community, if I do say so myself, and I'm not just gaslighting people. I genuinely, I think, yeah, there's so many nice people in the chat, and we always have a good show, so make sure you join that community if you can be bothered. Now, let's give you the latest on de Ligt, because I'm sure by now there's a lot of people who are kind of almost getting fed up a little bit with it. The fact that basically you guys just want this player through the door, right? It's as simple as that. You want Mazraoui through the door, you want de Ligt through the door, and you want to start the season. We want to see Premier League football, and we want to get these in as early as possible, because it looks like even if the deal is done by the end of the week, they're probably not going to feature against City. So you're already on the back foot a little bit in that sense. If you can get them in for the start of the Premier League season and they can start to contribute, then that's fantastic. But anyway, I'll give you the update. So Fabrizio Romano literally probably about an hour ago, Manchester United are prepared to return in talks with Bayern for Matthijs de Ligt and the Mazraoui agreement until June 2029 plus option already done with both players days ago. Now working on club side, players camp confident as they are only waiting for United. So they're pretty confident the deal can get done. I saw Laurie Whitwell put something out on Twitter before, which I thought was very interesting. I know it's called X now, but I'm not calling it X. I refuse to call it X. It's Twitter. Everyone knows what Twitter is. X is just, I don't give a shit. It feels weird saying it. But yeah, Laurie Whitwell. Man United were determined to keep the extent of Leny Yoro's injury under wraps due to ongoing negotiations. Bayern Munich, knowing there is more pressure to recruit a centre-backs, affect United's bargaining position over Matthijs de Ligt. So they wanted to keep Leny Yoro's injury under wraps because, and let's be honest, in today's generation, that's never going to happen. You know, if it's more back in the day in the 90s and it's just paper talk and you can kind of conceal it a little bit more, but with social media nowadays, the fact that we saw it was pretty bad on the pitch in pre-season, he was wearing a fucking cast that people was videoing, you're not going to keep that under wraps ever. But what I would like to say about this situation is, Bayern Munich's new defender, Hikaru Ito, I believe it is, who signed actually around the same time as Leny Yoro, has got a massive injury too, more significant than Leny Yoro's, I believe. Although it may come back a little bit after Leny Yoro, so by Christmas time, I think they're assessing it. So we're both in the same situation. So I don't think United actually have lost any bargaining power whatsoever, because one, Bayern, we discussed this continuously anyway. You guys already know it. Bayern need to sell. They need to sell to adhere to FFP rules, because the huge transfer with Harry Kane. They're trying to get rid of players like Goretzka. There's been talks with Kimmich. And they've got quite a chunky squad that they want. One, they want to refine. And two, with the new leadership upstairs at Bayern, they want to bring in some kind of flashy new signings, and they have a future and a vision which way they want to go. It's similar to United again. New manager Vincent Kompany, he wants some new signings in, and they're trying to sign Jonathan Tah for around 20 to 25 million. So the reason why that deal hasn't been done is the same situation why ours hasn't been done, because you need outgoings, you need, you know, certain players. It's all a chain reaction and it's all a domino effect. But like I said, both clubs need to sell to buy, and there has to be a compromise on this moving forward. And I think that's why the camps, especially when you're hearing from like the player side and the agent side, that they are confident that this deal can be done. And that is why I think it's going to be agreed this week with De Ligt and Mazraoui. And I think both of them, we touched on what kind of players they are, what they would bring to Manchester United, what the concerns are as well. So if you did miss that show last night, very good Sunday Social, had loads in the chat. Then yeah, go check that out if you've got no kind of content to watch. But we will be live again at 7 o'clock as well, as always. But yeah, both clubs going forward, I think they'll agree the deal this week, just in my personal opinion. That's not facts or anything, but you look at it, you can kind of read the room, you see what journalists are reporting, you see what the player side and agent side. I don't think Bayern Munich and United are too far away in terms of a fee. But like I said, outgoings are significantly important, and I'm going to touch on outgoings very, very shortly. So let's get into the comments to see what you absolute legends are saying. So nice to see My Damn United, Jay McGrogan, Dan Fenton, McMillan, Shreya's in the chat as well. We've got Sean in the chat. Sorry if I'm missing anyone. So many of you. Appreciate you, brothers. I hope you're all well. Thoughts on Mazraoui, or however you spell it? We may as well crack on. I've missed loads of the lads' shows. Yeah, like I said, we touched on Mazraoui last night in terms of what he'll offer Manchester United. I think the way we want to go and the way we want to play, we want to be very proactive. We want to be, you know, making strong decisions in the final third and be effective in the final third. And I think Wan-Bissaka, for all his positives in terms of 1v1 defending, the ground duels that he wins, you know, recovery pace at times is really, really well. That side of the game is really good at, but we need, you know, modern day fullbacks nowadays are required a lot more than just, you know, kind of isolated qualities. I think you need to be all well-rounded. Now, Mazraoui isn't as good, let's say, ground duels and recovery pace as Wan-Bissaka is what he's going to offer you, but Mazraoui in the final third, one, will probably unlock our right-hand side. You can go through the years when we've had, even go back to the days under Rolly, when you've got like Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka as your right back, and it's kind of just very null and void and nothing kind of going on there, or Anthony and Dalot doesn't really work for whatever reasons. There's loads of combinations you're looking at, like, we need to unlock that right-hand side. Our left-hand side has always been strong, where we had Shaw, Rashford, when Pogba was there. That was always an area we was pretty strong. But then we got like Dan James on the right, and it's, you know, we bought in Sancho, but he prefers to play on the left. Anthony completely kills that right-hand side, especially when you don't have an offensive right. When you have Anthony Wan-Bissaka on that right-hand side, it is dead. So I can see why they would bring Mazraoui in. And also, Mazraoui is used to 10x system. He knows how he wants him to play. If you need to drop into midfield, you can do it. Wan-Bissaka's not particularly comfortable at that. There was a clip from the last preseason game against Liverpool where Wan-Bissaka gets to the edge of the box, he puts a cross in, and it's just absolutely no way near anyone. They're probably still looking for the ball now. So Mazraoui makes sense, and the more I look at it, I wasn't completely sold on it. I'm still not completely sold on it, but he's going to be a backup right back. He can play left back as well. So they're probably looking at it thinking, one, he don't need to play every game, so his injury issues aren't going to be that much of a concern. And also, we've got a situation at left back. We don't know how Malacia is going to react to coming back. We don't know what Shaw's fitness is going to be like. So at least he can play there. Jigs Golf, same thoughts on Harry Amas starting. I'm going to talk about Amas shortly and Collyer because we had an update from the Athletic on that. So I will dive into that, I promise. What are we all saying? Let me see. Room tour with Nick coming soon. Yeah, I'll it's going to be done shortly. I'm trying to think. I mean, you guys are open to any ideas if you want to throw some. I was looking at some stuff, some cool stuff to put behind me last night. Some like maybe like an open cabinet with like some picture frames and neon lights and shit. Yeah, I'm thinking. So if there's any kind of interior designers here in the chat at a minute, then yeah, Holly, your boy. We can have a discussion. I'm just working on it in a minute. Sean saying I'd promote both, but they wouldn't be starters unless we have another injury crisis. Did you see we've been linked with Frankie de Jong again? Yeah. I saw that this morning, Sean, and I'm just not. I'm not getting myself into it. I'm not dragging myself down. It's like an ex-girlfriend who's come back again, and she's like, "I promise, I'm gonna cut." I was like, "No, go away, you bitch." Sorry, I just think a left back is important. Gambling on Shaw's fitness is risky. Yeah, I know what you're saying there, but Mazraoui can play there, and he's pretty comfortable. But again, if you don't have a natural left footer, behind a Marcus Rashford, again, you're going to get isolated on that left-hand side. So this is why I'm saying there are concerns with each deal, in my opinion. Calling Twitter X is like calling OT the Snapdragon when they rebuild it and sell the naming rights. I'm also going to discuss that towards the end as well. Gilesy saying, is it Gilesy or Gilesy? Sorry, I don't know your name. You think the Little Mazraoui will be here soon? I think this week the deal will be done, yeah. I think so. Shredder saying, everyone new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Yes, please do. If you like football content and you love the community. So many comments. Hope you're well, Nick. Very green there, mate. I know. I was trying to decide what colour to use. This is turning into like a DIY show, isn't it? I was trying to think what colour to use. I was like, it's brighter than I thought, but I would rather have a bright room than what was before it, because excuse me, I don't know if anyone really noticed or anyone pays attention to walls. Maybe you're not that fucking observant, I don't know, but there was a lot of holes in it. It was just a mess. It was an absolute mess. So it's all been done now. Got that matte finish. I promise you, when other things are put on there, it's going to look really, really good, or at least I hope. Mark Palmer, we're targeting anyone else other than Bayern duo and Uwate. Any interest in Tony? So with Mazraoui and with De Ligt, and like I said at the start of the video, I think that deal is going to be done this week. Player camps, agents happy with the deal, and Bayern Munich and United not that far away. So them two deals look like they're going to be fine. Uwate, I would probably suggest it's going to rely on McTominay outgoings. So McTominay being sold. One is an academy prospect, so his wages off the bill, and then obviously his fee is just pure profit. So I think that would contribute towards Uwate, and I think you will start seeing the wheels in motion with that deal if that happens. I mean, we're expecting Fulham to come in with another bid around 25 million, so I think that would help, because the thing with McTominay, Ten Hag uses him now more of a 10 who can crash the box. We've already got Bruno Fernandes and we've got Mason Mount. I mean, you've even got Eriksen who can play there. Ahmad can drop into the 10 if needs be. So you sell McTominay and you're like, right, well, what areas of weakness at the minute? And as we all know with the midfield, it's your number 6 position, right? So, yeah, I think the money's going to be spent there, in my personal opinion. On Ivan Toney, look, I know a lot of people are disregarding this at the minute, but Laurie Whitwell has mentioned Ivan Toney before. There was someone else who mentioned him as well, some credible journalists who have spoken about him. He's not a main target at the moment, but given if we have significant sales, it's believed that they would maybe approach that towards the end of the window. So I wouldn't completely rule it out. End of August, someone like an Ivan Toney is going to go for a free next season. If Brentford get a little bit desperate and they're like, right, we'll take 40 or 50, and United do well in outgoings, then it may happen. But there's a lot for that deal to go through. So it's unlikely, but I don't know. I wouldn't say completely impossible. Irfan Kadali says, hi, is Man United have a new bid today for a new player? Talks ongoing right now with Bayern Munich, so the new bid could go in today, could go in tomorrow, or within the next couple of days. Mark Palmer, do you guys not feel well? We're trying to be Ajax 2.0. This is a concern I mentioned to James from the Muppeters when we had him on. It's like we brought in this new Ineos era and Dan Ashworth and Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox, and it's like, right, we want a new style, a new identity, and we want to bring these kind of players in, and it's not always going to be the manager. And then it's like Ten Hag's phone book, Mazraoui, De Ligt, may end up signing Amrabat on a permanent, who obviously he's worked with before, and we saw last season. So do you know what I mean? It does feel like that. I understand the concerns, and I've mentioned this before. It's not all fucking rainbows and butterflies, and it's not. It's going to be tough. There's going to be setbacks. I said yesterday, the lads disagree with me a little bit. I'm worried about August. I think August is going to be a bit of a rough patch. One with Rasmus out and Leny Yoro out. You know, he's set back instantly. I think we're probably going to lose the City game. I know that sounds negative and it's only a Community Shield, but I think you need that winning momentum. Pre-season's been very mixed for me. Again, it was mixed last season and it was sloppy defensively and they was making mistakes and then they carried that into the thing. So I'm like, I don't know. And then injuries are like a reoccurring theme constantly. I'm not sold on it, man. I'm a bit worried, I have to be honest. To be fair, Mazraoui and Anthony Ajax complement each other well. With Ahmad, it could be even better. Absolutely. Get that like button hit for Nick, folks. 20 plus to catch up. Yes, please do. Thank you very much for that, my damn. Appreciate you, brother. Or we can play both sides. Don't bite Nick. I know. I'm very bitey this morning. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I think I'm just, Yeah. Uarte, Zubimende, yes. Rabiot, no. The analogy with the X and Frankie de Jong, that's how it feels, mate. That's how it feels. I don't want to reopen that wound. I've been hurt too many times from Frankie de Jong. I've wanted De Ligt since his Ajax days. I can't wait to finally get him in. United need English players. Amas and Collyer helps with that problem, so promote them both. Charlie always with the fantastic points. There is so many comments. I'm trying to get through as many as I can. Have you ever watched the skate podcast called The 9 Club? They have an animated cartoon moving skateboarder doing a moving skate trick. Maybe Nick, something like that with a goal scored or something. I'll look into it, McMillan. Always a fantastic idea, so I'll definitely look into that. DIY SOS, I've got to do Old Trafford before next studio. Sam saying Twitter people never learn. They're panicking about signings when they are so easily forgotten. We get Yoro and Xerxes done easily. Bayern are holding this up, not United. Uarte depends on sales. Howell Stefan says Ducker. Has James Ducker put something? I'll have a look. We should get Uarte and De Ligt, says Collins, before the season starts. Nick needs that Anthony pick he put up last night. Pissed off, coked up pick for his green room. Anthony's not going on the wall. I don't care. Maybe if he scores in like a Champions League final or something, which I mean the odds on that would be astronomical, wouldn't they? But I'm never putting Anthony on my wall. Dan saying I'm worried about the start of the season as well, Nick. I agree, mate. Ken Odie is saying, what effect does Yoro injury have on our negotiation price? Well, obviously they're looking at it and they're like, well, United are more desperate now because their brand new £50 million centre-back who they've just signed is out until November. So it's not like they could say, oh, well, Yoro and Lissandro can start together and, you know, we can breed that partnership and we can relax and delay it. It's like, no, they're going to start with Maguire and Lissandro again. Maguire's got an injury that's precautionary at the minute. And Lissandro also as well is, you know, he's had a good Copa America, but he has had big injuries last season. It's kept him out for months at a time. So maybe that makes him slightly more desperate, but I don't think we're in, you know. Nick made a suggestion for you all. Scroll up. Right. Sean, let's have a look. I used to have a wall dedicated to Riley Reid, but it got a bit messy, so I had to take down the throne. Thank you for that, Sean, on a 12 o'clock Monday show. Appreciate that, brother. Right, should we move on to the discussion then? Because I've not even spoken about outgoings yet, and I need to speak about Amas and Collyer, and I also need to speak about the stadium. But we can be live for an hour. It doesn't matter, really, does it? It doesn't matter. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in on TikTok. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Right, outgoings. Wan-Bissaka could be done this week. There's I'm going to say this like Dharmesh Seth or Sky Cavi. I wish I had my shades on me. See, I have my shades on me. I do my Sky Cavi impression. But Wan-Bissaka could be done this week. 5 million valuation between West Ham and United. It seems, if you've done your due diligence and read reports, that feels like it's going to be agreed, especially with Mazraoui kind of imminent as well. So I expect that deal, as well as the De Ligt and Mazraoui deal, probably to be done this week. Lindelof, in the last year of his contract, another player like Wan-Bissaka, some interest from Turkey, but we've had no concrete offers whatsoever yet. And that is a deal also that could help out with Matthijs de Ligt coming in. Maguire is definitely staying next season. We've seen Sky Sports report that. I think he's actually seen it from his own mouth that he wants to stay at the club. So he's going to stay as a 3rd/4th choice centre-back, which I'm absolutely okay with. I thought he was pretty good last season, so I'm all right with that, although he does hinder you systematically. But if you could just play him in cup games and stuff, and maybe against an Everton or whatever, then you're not too bad. Casemiro, interest from Saudi has cooled, unfortunately, and given his ages and his wages, that was probably the only realistic destination. And I think the reason why I'm saying I'm worried about the start of the season as well also is because Casemiro, as our starter, I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot do it. He is going to be a hindrance to us next season. I would be, all these people are saying he's going to make a comeback and he's shredded and he's not. He's not. I've even seen enough in pre-season where he's still doing the same things that he was last season. Wild passes, fucking jumping in, mad tackles at times when you don't need to, getting caught on defensive transitions, very sluggish to get back, being overly risky, which is probably coming from the coach, to be fair, but it's like you haven't got anyone else. So are you going to change your whole tactics just for one player? No. But Casemiro worries me. Eriksen, from quotes that I've read in interviews and stuff, he seems to be happy to have more of a bit part role in the meantime. He's had interest from Ajax and a few other clubs in Europe, but if Eriksen stays, it's like you bring him on for 15 minutes, innit? He's got that creativity. He can affect games. He was still great for Denmark, to be fair, in the Euros. So I'm not too fussed about that. And you're not going to get big money for Eriksen anyway. We signed him on a free. The guy's 32 but looks about 50. So you're not going to get a lot of money. It's probably like £5 to £10 million. So I'm just happy to keep him in that sense. McTominay, we're expecting Fulham's next bid maybe accepted if it's around 25 million. Maybe United will ask Radons to hit the 30 mark. But I think that's when, like I touched on before, that's when Uwate would probably, the deal would probably go quicker. I'll be bringing him in. So McTominay deal, I think, is very, very key for a midfielder to come in. Sancho, no one willing to cover his wages. £40 million we want, but his wages £350,000 a week. Again, we hinder ourselves so much with that. The wages is such a big issue for a lot of clubs with any player. You know, look at Maguire last season when we tried selling him. What happened? It was like, yeah, we could pay 30 mil, and then it's like, but we're not paying his £200,000 a week wages. Are you absolutely mad? Because, you know, teams can't do that. They can't break the wage structure. So then we have to keep hold of the player, and then the value kind of plummets, etc., etc. Rinse and repeat. Antony, impossible to sell for similar reasons. No one is interested in that player unless it's for an extremely cut price. You kind of put him in home a bargain for a fiver and see if we can get rid of him that way. So, yeah. Right, let's move on to the youngsters then, because I think this is also very interesting, and there's been quite a few comments about it. So let us know. Harry Amas is expected to continue the season with United, but there is a decision to be made on Collyer. Ten Hag rates the midfielder, but will weigh up whether to organise a loan or to keep him in-house to develop. So I'll park the Amas discussion. Me and Sam did a video on the academy, and we said Amas and Shea Lacey are next. Obviously, Shea Lacey had an injury, so he's kind of been set back a little bit. But he looks very, very promising. I think from a technical... I said I was going to park Amas, but just very quickly. From a technical standpoint, Amas, fantastic. Receives the ball really, really well. Combination plays good. He's quicker than I thought. There was some concerns initially. He's not quick enough. Obviously, he's not an Alphonso Davis. He's not a Theo Hernandez. He's quick enough. I think they can keep up. So that's not a concern as much as it was. His positional awareness is a little bit off at times. But again, I mean, how old is he? 17. So he's a 17-year-old kid. He's got a lot of shit to learn. And if you're going to learn off anyone, one of the best left backs in the league when he's on it, in Luke Shaw, who is almost like a mirrored prototype to, I would probably suggest, then yeah, I'm all up for it. I think keep him. Why not? Especially with the left back issues that we've got. So you've got Mazraoui you can cover over there, and then you've got Amas who can step in certain games, and then you've still got Malacia and Shaw can play centre back. Don't forget as well. I think you've got enough rotation there. Play him in the early Carabao Cup games if you need to. Depends how much you trust him. You know, I think he's held his own, Harry Amas, and I'm excited to see how he develops. On Collyer, that's the question that I wanted to ask. Because any United fans in TikTok, obviously the majority of you are on YouTube, would you keep Toby Collyer or would you loan him out based on pre-season that you've just watched right now? How do you feel about him as a player? I think he's held his own. I think defensively he works his fucking ass off. He covers a lot of ground. His positional sense is pretty good. He's pretty intelligent footballer. You see him breaking into the box as well at times. The only thing with him, I think he can be better on the ball. I'd like to see more from him on the ball in terms of his range of passing and obviously contributing more attacking-wise. But then again, do you see him more as a 6 or do you see him... I don't know. But I think he's 20 years old now. So it's not like Amas. You know, he's got 3 years on Amas. When you're 20, you're expected to really start pushing into the team. You know, look at Garnacho, look at Toby. I think Collyer, in my opinion, again, I don't want to ruffle feathers or anything, I think he will end up being a squad player like a Darren Fletcher or John O'Shea or something like that. I don't think he's going to turn into a Kobe Mainoo, and I would happily be proved wrong on that. But I've always said this with young players, you've got to be careful. Set the bar high, absolutely, and say you're only going to break into this team unless you're a Kobe Mainoo, you know, not a prototype, but his level of ability, and same with Garnacho. That's the level. You hit that, you're probably going to make your way into the team. If you don't, you'll become a sub player, you'll go out on loan, or you'll do whatever. I don't think Toby Collyer is similar to Mainoo. I think that's pretty obvious. And I think people making comparisons, just chill out a little bit. So yeah, let's see what people are saying anyway, because I asked the question. Let's have a look. Saudi got burned by some older big name players. Oh shit, chat's gone. Where's that gone now? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Mick Miller's saying Saudi got burned by some older players, big name players like Benzema, Henderson, so maybe that's why they're not buying Casemiro and targeting youngsters now. I agree. You see him moving for, is it Victor Roque from Barcelona? young player. There's a couple others as well. Stephanie Griffith. Hello, Steph. Hope you're very well. Saying deadline day deals. Jesus, tongue twister. Will be icing on the cake. Get these deals done and dusted. Sam Ingram had a good point there as well about Ogiene. Said loan him out to Leipzig, I think, but the comment's just gone. He's just joined the chat. Imagine it was the real one. 46 watching, only 19 likes. Yes, let's push that like button if you can. Subscribe as well. United, I want Uarte, De Ligt, Ruiz, Mazraoui, Felix. Very expensive. Amas with Leacher to the right of him would be fine. Same with Collyer and Mainu. McMillan saying we need to temper our expectations, I feel, and trust Ineos. They had their balls in the vice with Glazers, cocked up history, and now that history has to be squeezed, even with FFP, got to be patient. Dan saying Collyer, I would keep him in the first team squad, give him some games. Jay saying try and loan him to a Prem setup. Kirk, Howcroft, I'm worried about our midfield against Fulham. Yeah, if Casemiro's in there, I'm worried about it against any team. Jack Fletcher looks class. Reckon we'll be signing Palmer in the next couple of years. I hope so. St. Nolan, subscribe if you're new here. Love to have you part of this community. Absolutely. And also, if you would like to become a member, it's about £2-3 a month. Help keeps the channel afloat. Pays for stuff like Canva, Photoshop, and all the kind of other stuff. And obviously, we put content out every single week that's exclusive for the members. Then click the join button next to the notification bell if you want to. My damn saying, get that fair, Kirk. Wish we'd got Amrabat sorted already, just to give an option. Also would assist negotiations, Ari Uarte, in my opinion, if already got a body in that position. Right, should we move on to the conversation even more? Because that's what we do on a news show. We speak about some stuff, and then we swiftly move on. So, what have we got on next? Stadium naming rights. This was actually just news broke just before I went live, and I'm just going to double check Twitter, just to see if there's anything else on there, in case I missed something absolutely massive. No, we're okay, I think. Right. Let's read this Snapdragon story then. Manchester United's new shirt sponsor, Snapdragon, would be interested in buying the naming rights to Old Trafford if the club build a new stadium. Now, the Snapdragon Chief Marketing Officer, Don Maguire, has made a couple of comments on this, saying, this is Snapdragon Stadium at Basher Field. We are working very closely with the team on the reimagination of Old Trafford from a technology and innovation standpoint. I just want them to have pints that pour themselves, and I'll be happy. And paninis that have cheese on them. And Carrington both. So if that leads to something bigger, where it would make sense for us to go even bigger, this shirt sponsor is pretty big, by the way, not inexpensive. But if it makes sense, we are always looking for opportunities. And obviously, if they get an opportunity to name it, it's going to cost quite a lot. It's going to cost a lot of fucking money. But if they can do that, then I think they're going to absolutely make a lot of money off it themselves. I think they know, having the name attached to like this new stadium and this new era that United are in at the moment, I think they're going to do really, really well. So, yeah, you wouldn't blame someone for wanting the naming rights, would you? But I think a lot of fans, legacy fans, people who've been going for years, and rightfully so, and even people who, who've been going for a couple of years, they love Old Trafford, they love the atmosphere, they love the history. And it's a huge talking point. And they've said on multiple occasions that they're going to listen to fans, they're going to consult fans about the stadium, and they're not going to make any rash decisions. So if that is the case, then that's great, because I think everyone should have an input and an opinion on it. But to call it a Snapdragon Stadium, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, there's worse sponsors out there. It could be this, a Snap Puffin Stadium or something like that. Snapdragon's actually quite snappy, and it sounds good. Rolls off the tongue when it's Snapdragon. But I don't know how I feel about that. I love Old Trafford. I'd love to know what they're going to call the new stadium. If it is naming rights, how would you guys feel about that? It makes a lot of people uncomfortable, doesn't it? My dam's saying the real Reds talk Old Trafford might need to get them likes, subs, and memberships up, but we can rely on Stephanie for that. Absolutely. Snapdragon sounds like a C-tier Pokemon. C-tier, do you think? I don't know. I reckon it's got the potential to be a shiny Snapdragon. Yeah, I don't know. It rolls off the tongue. It sounds nice. I just don't feel comfortable calling it Snapdragon Stadium. I think maybe you call it the New Trafford. You've got Old Trafford. You've got this New Trafford, new era. Ineos in. Hacienda, says Jay McGrogan, if they change the name. I mean, the real Red Sox Old Trafford, we would have to get... If you're talking about memberships, try to get funding for that. Jesus Christ. You're going to need about 1 billion memberships. Poor man's Charizard. Yeah. Look, this is for some people it's a little bit uncomfortable because they don't want to imagine watching football at another stadium. For all its downfalls with United, for the fucking rain that pours through the roof, for the paninis that just have no filling on them and it's just warm bread, for the seats where it feels like you're basically inside fucking Kevin from Stretford, who's quite a big lad. For other things, the atmosphere is fucking unmatched. Like, take that Liverpool game, for example, last season. Me and my girlfriend, tried getting tickets to Stretford then, but couldn't get it. So it was in, like, the family stand almost. But even in there, it was absolutely feral. When Ahmad scored that winner, just the ambience, the Old Trafford roar, you will never know what it's like until you've been there and you've experienced, like, a 90th minute winner, or you're in the Stretford Den. It really is unmatched. I can't wait when I have kids one day, if I have kids one day, to take my little lad or whatever up the stairs just to witness, because the reaction to the first time, it's like, wow, it's incredible. So that there's a lot of emotion attached to it, and I get it. I get some people's concerns. I don't know how I feel about it. I think a new stadium's needed. You look at what Real Madrid have done with the Bernabeu. Even Arsenal moving from hybrid to the Emirates, like, it is needed, for not even just revenue, for other things that are involved with it. As a collective, it's a positive for United, but I think they need to be sensitive about it, and I think they are, and they've got smart people behind it. They're getting people involved, and I know something when we played, is it in LA at the SoFi Stadium? They really like that stadium, and they're taking a lot of ideas, and they was impressed with it. So if you get a stadium like that next to Old Trafford, and they keep Old Trafford, let's say they play the women's games there and a few other things, that would be incredible, wouldn't it? Absolutely incredible. But it's going to cost around £2 billion. It's going to take 6 years to build. So we're a long away from that at the moment. We're not even close to it. It's just very, very early stages. And then also the whole planning and project around it. I mean, Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester, was on a podcast, I think, the other day. I was listening to it, and he was talking about how they're not going to fund. He said, let's just get this clear and straight out there. The UK taxpayers are not going to fund United to build a new stadium. That's just not going to happen, first and foremost. But what they can do for United is they can work with them around transport, around that area, opening up other things, because United is such a big brand and so massive to Manchester that if they was to expand in that area and bring business and bring jobs, it's only going to be a positive for the community, right? And a positive for Manchester. So, yeah, they're working on it at the minute, but it's going to take years. It's going to take years to develop. Amas needs a loan in the Championship, says Dene. Dave saying, I know how you feel. I've converted my nephew who's in a Liverpool family. Well, good man. That's a good deed of the day done, Dave. Absolutely. When are we signing someone, bro? This week, probably, I would say. De Ligt and Mazraoui. Do you think we'll get all the deals done? Depends what you mean by all the deals. Talk to me, what players are you thinking about? 6 years, fuck me, I can build the Lego OT quicker than that. I'm not saying something. I've never forgiven Manchester Council for having a Scouse mayor. Oh, yeah. Clearing the area takes at least 2 years to do. Dan Fenton saying, yeah, a new stadium would be nice, but Old Trafford has so much history, and I've seen so many great games there. I was at the game myself. It was class. Can't beat it when it's rocking. Sam saying, he's an Everton fan, though, to be fair, Sean, not a Liverpool one, so that's something. Yeah. Positive vibes all around. Positive vibes all around. I didn't really think this colour through, did I, when I was thinking about, like, United. It's like the opposite to United colours, but our colours and our themes is green and gold, and it's relatively close. I mean, I need to sort of frame out. I need to get a few more bits. But like I said, if you guys have any ideas about any kind of DIY tips, because I'm absolutely fucking shocking at that kind of stuff. Any stuff for like podcast and what you think looks cool, send them us on Instagram. DM us on Real Reds Talk, and follow us on Instagram as well if you would like to. Also on X and TikTok. I'm live on TikTok right now. But we have transfer updates on X, and we also are live twice a day at the moment, every single day. So we're covering every blade of grass possible, plus membership videos, plus everyone who's in the chat in a minute. Genuinely, so nice, absolute legends. I appreciate every single one of you, and I mean that. And I'm not just fucking brown nosing. Genuinely mean that, legit. That colour's mint. Nice, Sean. Always quick on the ball. I think, Sean, you're missing out on a career in, and I mean this, I'm not being sarcastic. I think you're missing out on a career in comedy. You very quick up there. Green and gold till they die or fall. That's the one, Sam. Snapdragon wants United to tour India someday. If it's not injuries on USA fields, and it's Delhi Belly in India. Win-win. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm sure Shreyas and Dan would really appreciate that if he went a tour to... if United went on tour there, they'd be absolutely buzzing. And that's the beauty of it. So, I think we can park the discussion there, guys. Unless, for if you've got... I mean, I'll do 5 minutes. If you've got any... questions, either they're not football related or anything I haven't covered or anything you've seen news-wise that you would like to discuss and have an opinion on, now is the time to get it in and I will discuss. De Ligt is a must, the GOAT. Yeah, it'll be done, I think, this week. I'm pretty positive. This Yoro injury will make us pay more for De Ligt now. Should have got it done weeks ago. They know we're desperate, but Bayern Munich are also desperate. I said it at the start of the show. Bayern Munich are desperate. Let me tell you, their new centre-back has just got a massive injury. He's out longer than Yoro. They need to sell. So it's about both of them getting in a room, being an adult, unlike that screaming toddler outside who's just walked past, being adults in the room and saying, look, we're both in tricky situations. You're offering, let's say, 42. We want 50. Let's do 45. Simple as that. I think the majority of people will be happy with that now because you're looking at it like this. The start of the season is very, very close. You need to get these people in. So let's just do a fucking deal, right, and get it done this week, and then we can start moving the wheels on Ugarte, and maybe you can get a few other kind of extra little bits like your Rabios or whatever. I'm not sure. Aaron Gregory saying, big up Nick, big up Aaron. How about that? Throw it right back at you. The green and gold, great. Can't beat that, Nick. Love it. Yeah, a lot of people have. A lot of people are fans of the green and gold. We're going to stick with it, I think. We was going to change it when the Glazers... We thought the Glazers were fucking off, like 100%. But Ratcliffe came and it's like, well, Ratcliffe owns 25%, so we can't really change the theme 25%. So let's just stick with what got us to the dance. We started this channel, I would probably say 2-3 years ago. And it's developing really, really nice. We're on the road to 10k. So when we hit that, it's good. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Can't wait. Don't get Nick started on Frankie de Jong. Nick, I heard this morning PSG wants Sancho. What about a swap deal for Ugarte would be great. The issue is, again, it's wages. Ugarte is probably on 3 times less than what Sancho's on. I imagine he's on probably 150k. Sancho's on 350. Also, with PSG, Sancho isn't a primary target. He's on a list. So they've spoke to his agent, like, there's interest there, but he's not a concrete target because he was going to sign, I believe he was going to sign Kvaratskhelia. Now they're focusing to other targets. So that's almost impossible deal to do, in my opinion. I say in my opinion so many times. Obviously, it's my opinion. Nick, you contacted Pete Ball yet so you can get subbed in to sing the songs at Old Trafford? Perfect foil. I think we should start a petition to get me singing songs at Old Trafford or to be the announcer. Not that the announcer doesn't do a fantastic job, by the way, because, number 10, Marcus Rashford. I think I could do a really good job at that. Get me doing some kind of audio vocal job at Old Trafford and I'll smash it. So, yeah. Should we leave it at that? Or you guys want to stay alive for another 5 minutes? I'm easy. I'm open. Oh, United, we love you, says GW. But, yeah, do we all feel... what do you call it? Are we happy with the theme? Obviously not. It's not, like I said, it's not just going to be this. But this colour, what do we all think out of 10? Yeah, that's what we'll do. Instead of a poll, we'll do an out of 10 right now. On the colour. Give me a ratings. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I understand it. But it's bright. It's vibrant. It's almost green fitting in with the theme. I was just thinking, actually, if I get, like, this bit sorted, so I'll need to sort the camera angle and that and stuff. It will look like I'm on a green screen or something, won't it? But it's actual paint. Mental. I'm worried De Ligt is also injury prone. Well, he is injury prone. He is, well, it depends because at Juventus, again, spoke about this yesterday on the show we did last night, which was really, really good. So if you did miss that, then check it out. At Juventus, he had a long layoff. Like 140 days or something ridiculous, like a knee ligament tear. Since he's gone to Bayern, he's had bits and bobs where he's missed 10 days, 15 days. So it's not a massive concern, but he will miss games for us. So again, when you're trying to form some kind of consistency with a centre-back partnership, You've got the injury scares with Sandro a little bit. Maguire's had his knock here and there. Yoro was already injured, even though he wasn't injury prone before he came to United. It is a little bit, you're thinking, oh, yeah, aren't you? So I get that. I get them concerns. Think outside the box on the decor background, Nick. Every tuber has the same type of backdrop like that Nottingham kid who looks like Thomas Crooks. I haven't seen that Nottingham kid, but again, I will definitely look into that. I am trying to think outside the box. I want something that's meaningful. The reason, right, first and foremost, I'll just finish on this. The reason why we call it Real Reds Talk, a lot of the comments in the early days that we got was, oh, you think you're real Reds, like you're proper because you're from Manchester and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it's not that. It's the fact that we thought initially when we set this up, there's a lot of fan channels out there that talk bollocks, first and foremost, that are very, very clickbaity. Will lead you down fucking dark alleyways and just give you nonsense. What we try and do is have an authentic conversation, like you're just a fan sat at Old Trafford. And that hopefully that's the vibe that it's giving off. So I want something authentic. I want something real. And I'm trying to think of something. It's going to take a couple of days. And I'm trying to think of something legit that I want to put on there. Cole Bridges, the Nottingham kid, looks like the brother of the Trump shooter. Jesus Christ. Wow. Some heavy conversations for 12 o'clock. But I'm here for it. How does the Rock pee? Macmillan with an all-time classic joke here. I'm always here for the jokes. And if you can make me laugh, maybe I'll buy you an Amazon voucher or something. How does the Rock pee? He Dwayne's his Johnson. That's quite good. That is quite good. It's a smile. It's not a laugh. But that's quite good. Trouble saying, hi, Reds all the way. Glory, glory, Man United. Big up, brother. Thank you for your comment and interaction. Appreciate it. Needs to be a big picture of Mochi somewhere on there. Maybe my other 3 cats as well, Sam. Might help. Just a shrine for Mochi. Whenever I'm painting, I listen to Rolling by Limp Bizkit because I always use a roller. Okay. All right. 7 out of 10 and some pictures of ex-players and green and gold stuff on there too, mate. Yeah. I need something, don't I? I need something. Sorry, people on TikTok. I've just got green screen on there, so they can't see it. So they're probably thinking, what the fuck is he on about? He's got green screen on. Smith FFC with comment of the day. Why are United shit? I mean, if you've got 10 years, I can discuss everything that's gone on. Mochi is a handsome boy, though. He is, but is that not weird having someone else's cat on your wall? A little bit, when you've got your own cats. Holy Trinity backdrop, Nick. I like that. I want a big art piece here. Like, a big art piece. And then it's going to be like an arching thing like that in the backdrop with, like, I don't know, football boots and neon lights and shit like that. But I want a big... I was thinking, do you know the... who was it? The picture of is Ahmad, Højlund, Garnacho, and Mainu in the FA Cup final. And they're all together and they've got the FA Cup just in front of them. And it's like, that's the future of United in a sense, innit? And Ahmad, I love Ahmad Diallo. So I was thinking a big backdrop of that with like some lights underneath it and then like a cabinet. Is it a cabinet? I don't know. Fucking shelf unit, whatever you want to call it. With loads of stuff on it. YJJ says, respect. I don't think Yoro and De Ligt is enough. If Maguire or Lindelof come off the bench, it's going to be a big problem. We could very easily be reverted to type with fucking Johnny Evans, couldn't we? At the back. That's the worrying thing. Cantona fly kicking, the Palace fan centrepiece on the wall. A very good idea. Ander Herrera spitting on the City badge. So we're all just going for, yeah, proper out there stuff. I'm here for it. Plus modern young guns sitting on hoardings. Oh, yeah, on the boardings. Yeah, Steph. Toby, Rasmus, and Garnacho. I've seen actually someone take that. I don't know if anyone... You know when Fergie told the story about these workers and they're sat on a crane or something? I'm sure it's something like that. There's a picture of that, and they've replaced that with Højlund, Garnacho, and Toby sat on it. It's quite cool. Should have a picture of Ten Hag's head in an egg cup. Now, that is something I would definitely consider. Eric Ten Hag's head in an egg cup. Some fantastic ideas on there. It's just going to be a wall full of mad shit in it. Sam's cat, Ten Hag's head in an egg cup somewhere over there, and some other random stuff. Absolutely. Anyway, people, I'm just rambling now, so I don't want to keep you for too long. Appreciate every single one of you, as always. You know I say this every single show, but I do, legit. Anyone in the chat who interacts, who takes time out of the day to come and discuss Manchester United and transfers and just football in general or backdrops on the wall. Yeah, love it. We're going to be live later on at 7 o'clock, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you don't follow us on socials already, this is Real Reds Talk. What are you doing? Check us out. Follow us. Everything's growing consistently. We're getting guests on. You know, we're getting more and more followers, more and more people interacting, and it's amazing. But I love I love having a what's the word? Intimate community, or is that a little bit thingy to say? Is it intimate? You can say it like an intimate community, innit? Because, right, when there's, I don't know, 50 people in the chat, 60 people in the chat, you can kind of have a conversation with each individual. When there's, don't get me wrong, millions would be nice, but when you're in millions, it's flying quick and you can't really interact, and it's the odd people have to put super chats in and stuff. I like having kind of a well-knit community. It's nice. So, yeah, appreciate yous. Like I said, we're back at 7 o'clock. I'm sure there'll be some news popping off. I'm going to go work on stuff for here. I'm going to go get some stuff. And, yeah, hopefully you have a really nice rest of your day, whether you're in work, whether you're in the shower, whether you're eating kebabs in Bangkok like Sean, whatever it is you're doing on this planet day. Remember, you've got one life to live. And if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, you won't wake up. So, yeah. Anyway, right, see you in a bit, people.